It is frightening to fall from any height. Could you imagine free falling from thousands of feet, or standing in a plane's open door while in the sky? The sensation of free falling onto the earth, some people might enjoy it. But others, not so much. What is the greatest height a person has fallen without a parachute? And lived to tell the story. An aerial cameraman, who has worked on shows such as Top Gear, and on a show, The Day When Things Went Horribly Wrong. He had more than 2,500 jumps and 12 years of experience under his belt. There was a valid reason for James Bull to be confident in the air. He was making a documentary about Kamchatka, Russia's volcanic snow-covered landscape. After he jumped, he noticed visibility was poor. Bull pulled his chute up and raised his feet. He reached the ground and realized at once that he had both survived and broken his back. 1 hour to the local hospital, 9 hours to Moscow, then back to the UK, and within a week he was walking. 6 months later, after dropping 6,000 feet, he was hoping to parachute at least another time. In 1971, Julian Koepka and her mother were on a jungle plane flying home for Christmas. The aircraft went into a nosedive. It broke into bits about 10,000 feet high. And Koepka was thrown free. She was still strapped to her seat. She was on the ground when she woke the next day, totally alone. With a fractured collarbone and a few deep cuts on her legs. On the 4th day, she saw vultures and discovered the bodies of 3 other passengers. She was having trouble standing on the 10th day. She then came across a number of men who had healed her wounds and taken her back to civilization. Already an avid skydiver, Shayna Richardson was ready to take it to the next stage in 2005, a 10,000-foot accelerated free fall. But it didn't go as expected. And not only did her main parachute fail, but her reserves failed too. Her boyfriend, a skydiving instructor, screamed in the background as she fell. He watched her finally hit the ground face first in an Arkansas parking lot. Richardson discovered when she was in the hospital that she was 2 weeks pregnant. They both survived miraculously. Kristin Mckenzie jumped from 11,000 feet. It was 2004, and it was also her 112th jump. Things went wrong this time. Her main parachute failed to open, and it opened with so much force, when Mckenzie pulled her reserve, that some of the line snapped, and what was left became tangled and useless. She hit power lines on the way to the ground in a strange fluke, and later thanked them for slowing her down just enough to allow her to survive. When Mckenzie arrived at the hospital, doctors learned that not only did she survive, but that she survived with only a broken pelvic bone and several bruises. When she told reporters that she was going to jump again, she was sitting in her hospital bed. So how can you fall thousands of feet and live on to tell others about it? Rhett Alon is a Southeastern Louisiana State University physics professor, and he told NPR that while it's a little difficult to find out exactly what's at work here, there are a few things that science recognizes. Smaller people fall slower, they pull on them with less gravitational energy, and when they touch the ground, they will hit slower. That is a big deal when you're talking about a 10,000-foot drop. Secondly, it's more about landing on a soft surface. Landing on anything soft will help reduce the velocity of the fall at the last minute, such as snow, a pine tree, or power lines. This can be a shocking experience.